Welcome back, everyone. Second half here at Dropped Frames. It's Q&A time. I didn't message Daniel, so the questions won't pop up. You guys have the links, right? I sent you the questions?
Okay, it's just one link, right? One master link?
Yeah. Just make sure after we answer it to delete it. Okay. We had a lot of... Jesus, we have like 100 questions.
I don't know where the comments are on VODs.
I don't either. I think it just goes into the chat as a comment. Like it adds to the chat comments. I think that's how it works. Let's just start with the first question. Yeah, let's just start with the first one I saw from Bob der Baumeister. When's the next Tex-Mex episode coming out, Max? When's that
you know, it's funny that somebody asked that. And I know we get that question every now and then. It's died off a little bit more and more, like people talking about that. But I was going to ping you and be like, do you just want to do a random one? Like, you know, whenever you and I happen to end up having an hour, you know what I mean?
We could.
Just do it.
We could.
Because the reason is like, you're busy, I'm busy. It's very hard to do a regular scheduled show on top of already regular scheduled shows. So I think what I might just start doing is just like pinging you and be like, you got an hour? And then just, if you want to talk, we'll do it. If you're not feeling it, then we'll just do it another time if you want to.
Yeah, we should.
So maybe. It might not be the death of Tex-Mex, because I think that's for the way our schedules are now. I think that's probably going to be the best way to do it. Not like we do this every Tuesday at whatever time. You know what I mean?
It never
it's just
works.
Going to be like,
it's tough.
Yeah, it'll just be like, hey, do you want to do it? And it'll be a semi-regular thing, maybe.
Let's yeah, I agree. Let's set up some rules here for the Q&A. We'll go in a circle. Since I started, I'll go again, and then we'll do Max, and then we'll do Zeke, and we'll just keep going till we're bored. Sean August asks, what's some of your favorite books/authors? I make jokes that I don't read a lot. I don't read a lot still, but I do have some favorite authors, and I can't remember their names. What's the name? Oh, God. I'm just blanking so hard on this. I do own some books, but I can't remember the author or the name of the book. I'm trying to think where even those books are stored. I don't read a lot, is basically what I'm getting at.
All right, I'll go.
Go. I'll try to think of this. What the fuck is the name of that book? Go ahead.
I don't read a lot either, but when I do get in the mood to read, I read voraciously for about 6 months, and then I just don't read again for another 2 years. So the last time I felt the need, like I was like, I'm gonna read some books, and then I read like in like 3 months, I read all of the Song of Fire and Ice or Ice and Fire.
You should watch the TV show
Game
for that.
of
It's
Thrones.
really good.
Yeah, but I read through all those. I read, but favorite of all time. I hate to even say this, and it's kind of maybe a guilty pleasure, but my favorite author that I can just read anything he writes usually is Stephen King.
Yeah.
It's just real like good, solid, vivid writing, and I like the subject matter more often than not, and I can tear through one of his books very quickly. So I've read a lot of Stephen King books.
Have you read the one about that they're making that Netflix movie about with the girl that gets chained to the bed because the guy, they're like trying to spice up their sex life, and then the guy has a heart attack?
Gerald's Game?
Yeah. Have you read that?
Oh, yeah. I
heard it's really fucked up, so I'm kind of looking forward to it.
It's fucked up, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Max,
It's amazing how many books that guy's fucking written.
Oh, yeah, he writes a shit ton. When he was doing a ton of drugs, he said he could just bang books out so easily.
Yeah, he was like super coked out and just like... Let's see. Other like favorite authors, I don't know, like it wouldn't be books, it'd be comic authors like Neil Gaiman or Frank Miller or Garth Ennis, Warren Ellis, like Alan Moore. Like those are the ones that I know personally, and Terry Moore as well. Like those are the ones that I would point to as my absolute favorite non-book authors. I mean, some of them write books, of course, but
now the books I found that I actually read a decent amount. Probably the last book I read was 2 or 3 years ago, but I read about 4 or 5, and kind of like what you said, Zeke, in a quick succession. Was the Dresden Files shit, and they're kind of just like they're not even like amazing books. They're just like easy to read, I guess, is how I got through those. Jim Butcher is the author for those. But Day 9 actually got me hooked on those.
I bought those. I think per your recommendation, I still have yet to read them.
Yeah, I usually can't sit down and read a book because it's just I don't like sitting down without a computer near me and not working or doing something that seems productive.
It's harder to do it's harder to do reading now. No, it's tell I don't read a lot. No, it's harder to read now that you know like we have these like a lot. Time is so valuable for us, right? So it's very hard to just kind of like when you're off stream and you have a little bit of free time, it's hard to just dedicate amount of time to just sit down and do nothing but read. You know? Yeah.
Usually it happens if I'm on like flights and stuff. And then I read a lot of graphic novels. I was reading some of the Iron Fist. I can't name any of the authors, but reading some Iron Fist. I actually have, I guess I could just tell you what's on as I knock everything over. What's on my Comixology app, which is my preferred app. They got bought by Amazon too, so it's pretty nice. What do we got here?
Lest I forget, I totally forgot Douglas Adams being one of my favorite authors of all time. Douglas Adams and the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is just...
I've wanted to read that book.
Every single book is fucking so good in that series.
Saga is great. Girls is a good book. It's also it's a weird book to talk. Yeah, I read a book called Girls. What is that? Well, it's about just read the book. Why the Last Man? I really enjoyed. I'm not finished with that yet, but I heard that was being made into a TV series, and that has me interested. Is it already done?
Yeah, it's already been made. It's already been going.
Oh, it's out there. It's a thing.
Yeah. It's a guy from SNL, Will Forte, I think his name is. Big old beard. And it's supposed to be pretty decent from what I heard.
No. You're thinking The Last Man on Earth. Totally different thing.
Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, those are different
So everything
things.
I just said, just take it and throw it away because it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, Why the Last Man's more drama.
It's been fun being on the show, guys. I'll see you guys later.
No, the premise of Why the Last Man is he's the last male. There's still females.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wires crossed there. What is the thing you're talking about?
That's what we're talking about. Why the Last... That he just said that he wasn't talking about TV show. He's talking about the comic. Mm-hmm. Why the Last Man?
Yeah, the premise of the comic book is that all males have died, save Yorick, the main character, the protagonist. Every female is still alive, but all the men have died.
You could see how I get a little confused.
Oh, sure. totally, yeah. Alex plus Ada, which was a fucking great book. I read that on Wheat's recommendation, or a great comic, graphic novel, whatever. About a guy who falls in love with a fucking cyborg, I guess is how you would say it. That was really good. What else? I tried to get through Fables. There's a lot there. There's a lot of stuff there. Lock and Key. I read that entire thing. That was fucking amazing.
I've heard that's good too.
I've read like 4 of those the trades.
Yeah, they're really good. Rat Queens. The Sword is really good. I think The Sword and Girls are the same writer. And then I was reading some Thor stuff. Specifically the God of Thunder arc, which was a recommendation from my brother. So, yeah, Max, anything for you? Do you read audiobooks?
I don't read as much as I'd like to. I read a lot when I was younger, and like I said, just because of lack of time. The last thing I read was this. I actually have it on my desk. This thing. It's from Gene Wilder. Kiss Me Like a Stranger. I think I mentioned that before. Good book if you're interested in the man and what he was about and how he got into Hollywood and his experience meeting a bunch of people that you know, if you know the like kind of people that he worked with and things like that. So Mel Brooks and all that kind of stuff is in here and all that shit. But I really like Gene Wilder and like always looked up to him as like an entertainer. So it was just something that I saw on Amazon. I don't even know how I came across it. Somebody talked about it or something like that, and I just saw it was on Amazon and I fucking read it.
Well.
But it's a good little book. It's not long. It's like, I don't know, like 200 some pages maybe. Yeah, like 250 pages, something like that. Yeah. Easy. You can order it on Amazon with paperback. But that's the last thing I've read in a while. I've read like a couple graphic novels here and there. I can't even remember most of them, so they probably weren't very good.
I mostly read on planes, and I haven't flown anywhere for quite some time. So, thanks for the question, Max. You got a question picked out?
Oh, fuck no.
God, I prepped you for this, Max. We said we're going in order here. Yeah.
We're going in order. Okay, I can do this.
Me, you,
okay,
Zeke.
This is a decent one. The elusive, or is it the elusive? Let me click it.
I got it.
other than assholes in chat, what is the most difficult part about being a streamer? What do you think?
If I had to choose,
I wouldn't even say assholes in chat are the biggest problem.
Yeah, not at all.
No,
Assholes in
other
chat
than
are
that, like what is like other than that being like I think they just take that as like that's a
given.
Like,
yeah, sure.
It's a given kind of thing. What's the hardest part about being a streamer? I'm not going to start with this one.
I think it's specific. I think it's specific to streamers. That I should say.
I don't think we have to go into all the different like things because there's a lot of different hardships and
right.
hardships.
That's what I'm saying.
Hard.
It's specific to each streamer. I think for me, it's just consistency is probably the number one thing. Just being like I've tried so many times to just, hey, I'm always going to be live at 4:00.
No.
Nope, not tomorrow. Some came up. It's not going to happen today. So I'll see you tomorrow at some random time. That's always been my biggest issue. So that's an easy one for me.
For me, being as my channel is fluctuates a lot. The stress of thinking, will this game be successful in my stream? Because I do have to think about that because I have a core of loyal like chat fan, whatever you want to call them, that come to my channel regularly, but I do fluctuate quite a bit based on game choice. Like my particular stream could be like 600-700 with a shitty game, or like 15, 18, 2000 with a great game, or that a game that people enjoy watching me play. Like I have such wild swings of numbers, it's nuts. So that's one of the most difficult parts for me is thinking like I really, really, really want to play this game, but it's going to kill my numbers today. So can I afford that right now?
Yeah.
Do I want to afford that right now? Can I? Yeah, probably. But do I want to? Do I want to sit there and watch like my like the sub counter go down rather than go up? Like as I'm playing, as I'm streaming, like that kind of shit. That stresses me out a lot. That's probably the most difficult part for me is thinking like this game is gonna kill me, and it might kill me for a week.
Yeah. That's kind of like for me, the biggest thing now, I think that's been like just being truthful and honest on my mind the most is where do you go next, right? Especially, and I think this is something that happens to people that are longtime broadcasters, people that have been doing it for a really long time. It's trying to quiet that fear in your head of like, well, are you just going to fade into being irrelevant, or are you going to continue to go forward and, adapt and come up with new things to do and keep your vigor and your ability to entertain and trust in yourself, because there's a reason that you're where you're at, right? As far as like having followers and people interested and invested in you as a personality and how you entertain. But for me, it's been a fluctuation of like being totally solid and good to go, and then being way too in my own fucking head and letting that affect my my ability to do my job and entertain. That's one of the hardest things I think for streaming in general that a lot of people don't like to talk about because it's not fun and nobody wants to hear you bitch and moan about that on a stream, right? Because to them, like most people, like you're playing video games as a job, right? It's the greatest thing in the world. But there's a lot of stuff mentally that goes on that most people don't talk about it just because it's not fun to talk about, right? It's also discouraging to people that want to do streaming and want to have what you have. And then having the flip side of that being like, well, yeah, no, all things considered, I still have a pretty good, life and job and all that thing. So you just end up bouncing back and forth. So that's probably one of the worst things in my mind. Fucking assholes on in the chat, whatever.
That's a day-to-day thing.
If you've been doing this long enough, your skin's thick enough. The only way maybe that would affect you is if in a particular moment your armor is particularly weak and they just happen to strike at the right spot.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's one of those things. It's not so much like the influx. Think of it like a fucking dartboard, and you're the dartboard. They're throwing all sorts of darts at you. You're fine, but there's one little structural part on that dartboard that might hit a little bit. That's how I would equate assholes in chat and how it affects the stream.
I had Sir Scoots and a bunch of other streamers in town. Streamers and YouTubers in town last week for the Roleplay Live show. And I think it was Scoots kind of brought up this idea of like every one of us at that table is fine. monetarily. Like we're pretty much good for the next couple of years. But he was asking us like, what is the thing that keeps us wanting to always stream, even though none of us are going to go away overnight or go away over a week or go away over a month, really. Like we can pretty much take however long we want to for like a vacation or whatever. And I think that's something that in the next couple of years, you're going to see a lot of people struggle with, that potentially already are struggling with it. And these are, you know, these are established streamers that potentially have, quote, already made it in that sense. I'm not talking about the people, you know, trying to grind to make it in that sense. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have an answer for him. He was basically like, what is it that makes it so you just can't take a break? You can't go on vacation. And I think it's the idea, the best answer I could give him was the idea that when it dips into the red on a channel, it's a really fucking shitty feeling. It's one of the worst things. And it's like, it's kind of the equivalent of like getting a bad grade or a bad report card in that sense. Like it just doesn't feel good no matter what stage of life you're in. You don't like going home with a bad report card. You don't like going to a job and getting told by a coworker that you're sucking lately or something like that. No one likes any of that shit. And that's kind of where, at least mentally, I kind of am when it comes to the lows. But then it happened this past month when we just basically didn't do a roleplay show for almost an entire month, at least the normal ones. And it dipped, and then everything came back to normal, and we went back into the green. It was fine. And so that was kind of a reassuring moment for me, at least most recently. But I don't know if you guys have a different answer to Scoots' question, but I'd be interested if you did.
Just what keeps you coming back streaming every single
well, no, like what is the biggest fear? Like, why can't you just take a giant break? Or why do you think most streamers just can't take a giant break? What is it about that? Is it just the fear of losing it all?
I think it's more the fear. I'll say for me, it's the fear of, is this going to be this break that I take going to be the starting point of a downward spiral, right? Is it going to be the thing that like, just for some reason, like it's hard to describe, honestly. Also, the other side of it is just like we like doing it, right? You know, like when you're gone, even at a PAX or something like that, you're itching to come back and stream. You're itching to play games and do your shit, because that's part of the reason why we're successful to a certain extent. You know, to what we do is that we still have that drive and passion for it. But I think it's mainly just like, it goes back to that, like, is this the start of me becoming, you know, like irrelevant or going into a downward spiral? I think for me, that's part of it. The other part of it is just like, I like doing it and I feel weird if I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like I'm letting people down, kind of thing. There's just so much guilt that goes involved.
There's a lot of guilt
with
for
taking
sure.
off time. And
I like. Okay, you're back. Sorry, you're good.
There you go. Okay, no, you can have so many people tweeting at you saying like, "Oh, we love you. We'll be here. Do what you got to do. Take your time." That helps, but it doesn't heal. You know, it doesn't heal that.
Right. Sure. It doesn't do anything really.
It's hard to describe, and I understand completely if people think that you're just like, "Fuck you. You got a great job." I do. We do.
Oh yeah. This is all first world problems, without a doubt.
Well, I mean, like,
that's a question, so we're gonna answer it.
This is something that I've talked about. I'm sure all of us have. I've had a few jobs that were zero stress. It's go to work, and they paid well. Go to work, come back home from work, no stress. You do your job, come back home. This is constant.
Yeah.
It's constantly on your mind because there's no one else gonna do anything but you.
Right. I think that's
it's all on you. Your house, your living, like everything is all on you.
Yeah.
And you alone.
Yeah. I think another aspect of it too is that if like forward momentum as a streamer is the best feeling, and it's a sign of you're doing good in your job. So the second you take a break from that, your entire operation kind of stops. Like everything about your job it's not like someone else is going to fill that void. Someone will fill that void, but not for you. They're making their own money, right? Like it's not a normal job where someone just fills in and takes over for you. This is all you, kind of like what Zeke was just saying. It's 100% on the individual. And so as soon as that like momentum starts to peak, it's great. Then if you take a break, well, then you're back at 0, right? And that's a shitty fucking thing to deal with for sure. So I think that's probably one of the to go back to the original question, that's probably one of the more difficult things as well.
And also having kind of a public persona that you have to kind of, I mean, edit yourself.
Oh yeah.
when you say shit, like you can be mean-ish and take jabs, but goddamn, man, if you say something like really off the wall, you're fucking, you could get tanked. Your fucking entire career is tanked.
Say whatever I want on Twitter, and Twitter is such a nice place to be. All right, I tweet everything that's on my mind.
Yeah, that's changed. As someone who's been learned that I've been blacklisted by a group recently, I've started to actually think about what I'm doing now, what I'm saying, because yeah, that hadn't happened yet, and now that it has, I'm just kind of like, oh well, shit. I guess I can't just say whatever the fuck I want at any time about anything on Twitter and get away with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on though. We spent a long time on that question. Zeke, you got one ready?
This one should be quick, maybe, depending on how storytelling we get. Have you guys been recognized in public outside of cons? And give me your best story.
Yes, I can't remember the specifics though.
Mine's real quick. I went to pick up a package. The FedEx guy knocked on my door. Come out, and he goes, "Oh, hey, Zeke," and I went,
Oh,
"Yeah."
shit.
And he goes, "Holy fuck!
He knows.
Oh my God.
Live.
This is, oh my God, I watch you all the time. I don't like chat or anything." And then I get this 90% of people who know me from Twitch, the next phrase out of the mouth is, "I don't chat." You know, like,
Yeah.
I get that's like so many people are lurkers.
I've had
but he just was like, "Oh my God, I watch you all the time. Here's your package. Oh man, it's so great to meet you," or whatever.
I've had kind of the inverse of that. A lot of people that come into the house and see like the weird. I think every streamer has the same thing. People walking in like, "The fuck is all this shit? What do you do?
Yeah,
what do you do
exactly
for a
right.
living?" And we'll have a conversation. Oh, you know what YouTube is. You know what Twitch is. I stream. I make content on there. Oh, okay. Well, what's your channel name? I'm just like, God, fucking damn it. Yeah, it's this. And then in the back of my head, please don't come. Please don't visit the shit. Please don't fucking say it. You know where I live. You know my address. Please don't fucking come by. I don't want to talk to you ever. One guy went as far as to like give me his Microsoft, his Xbox Live account and said like, we should play some games. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess I'll take that and we'll play some games. And I just hope I never see that person again.
You play games? Do you play games with them?
No, I never added them. I didn't do anything. And that's not from like, sure, that's me being a dick in some eyes, but otherwise, it's just like I can't, like for privacy and security reasons.
Yeah, it's just privacy, right?
Yeah, I'm just not going to do that. Max, what about you? Have you ever met anyone?
Yeah, it happens. It happens. There's no way to say this without it being a douchey, but it happens more than I would expect it to. Like
Well, one time is more than anyone expects it to, right? Like,
I expect it to not happen ever, right? Yeah. Certain circumstances maybe, but yeah, just recently at Best Buy, local Best Buy here, there was a couple people that knew me and knew Amanda. I was like, okay. And, they were nice people who said hi and took pictures and stuff. And at the Renaissance Fair before that, just a little before that, there was a dude there who had like fucking glorious mane of hair. He looked like fucking, he was
Fabio?
like straight up at everything. He was like, had the medieval fucking giant great sword and everything. Cool guy. He was there with his girlfriend and they said hi, but it still to this day catches me off guard when I'm like, oh fuck. Really? Like, sometimes you can tell depending on where you're at. You know what I mean? Like there's somebody who just kind of stares at you a little bit, there's a certain look and that just I only recognize that just because I've seen that at conventions and things like that. But again, there's no way to say that without like, in my mind, sounding a little douchey, like, yeah, it does happen. It fucking happens here and there. But yeah, it does happen. It's always a pleasant one. I don't think I've a handful of encounters that are a little creepy, and usually those are at like cons. Any in public encounters, I think it's been fine. I can't remember anyone that was like weird or like really, really creepy. Thankfully, I don't think I've had one where anybody, like you said, like FedEx guy or something like that. That I would be kind of like, like Is this where I live?
Yeah, that's
Fuck.
weird, man. That's a weird thing. Yeah. I
Is
also
it
think-
awkward? Sorry, I was just gonna follow up. Is it awkward when people ask for photos in situation? No, I welcome it. Personally, I welcome
yeah,
it. I think
no,
that's a
that's
person-to-person thing. I don't give a shit. If you meet me in person and I'm not in a hurry, first of all, I'll let you know if I'm in a hurry. I'll let you know if I need to go somewhere. My default face is pretty devoid of like emotion usually. So if it looks like I'm mad or something, I'm probably not. And if you, yeah, just ask for the picture is my advice, because that might be the only time you ever see me ever. So just fucking go for it, do it, and I'll let you know.
I think most people would agree with that. This one's pretty specific to me, but I feel like I've been asking enough and I haven't given an answer. The Dist asked, JP, a while back you mentioned getting a new tech talk show. I'm interested in how it's working out for you in the production of drop frame / roleplay. First off, what is a new tech talk show? It is a TV studio broadcast solution for Skype calls. So anytime you see someone say like, oh, let's go ahead and connect with so-and-so, a professor at Harvard across the country, they're using probably something similar to a talk show. It's just a fancy way of calling people on Skype. And they're about, I think they're like $9,000 or something like that, for $8 or $9,000 or something like that. So I ended up grabbing one on lease. I didn't purchase it. Luckily, they let me try before I buy and set it up. And basically, the short answer is we're not going to be able to use it for what we do out here on Drop Frames or on Roleplay, because the mix minus, which is the ability for the 4 people on the talk show to talk with one another, is just a fucking disaster to set up. Consider the idea of someone being in a room and only able to hear the person next door, while the other 2 people to the left of them are still able to talk, but they can't hear them unless the person stops talking. And if they start talking, it cuts those guys off, and it's just a gigantic headache. So we ended up not using it. Still looking for solutions, but this is Skype, and like these 2 don't look bad. Like the camera quality is getting pretty good now. It's supposed to continue getting better, so we'll just see.
I don't know. I felt the need to fucking do this shit.
Just wait.
I thought about that after I did it. I'm like, what am I, fucking 3rd grade? Hi.
Yeah. The only other like real solution that I could do, which I've talked about with a bunch of people that have one, is just buying a goddamn TriCaster and going like stupid, crazy, overblown production on that. Which is, TriCaster is about $20,000. The board to use it is about $10,000, and then you have to buy the talk box for about $9,000. And that just seems real fucking overkill right now. I'd have to change my entire setup for all that stuff, and I'm just not willing to do it. So, because this works out.
Have you looked into Lightstream? They have a feature like that where
I've heard of it. Yeah,
bring people into and I think it's up to like 8 people you can bring in, like a teleconference kind of thing like that.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff just doesn't have the bandwidth. And I don't know if they're peer-to-peer or if it's... I don't know how what the network structuring is behind the scenes there. So it potentially might work. But a lot of things that... or a lot of groups that have that stuff want you to be like, you know... put our logo on the stream.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And like at the end of the day, I don't want to fucking promote someone else's product. I want to give someone money and never have to fucking talk about what I'm using at all.
Yeah,
or
that's
give
true.
them promotion.
Yeah. It needs to be just the content is king that you're making, not like this brought to you by this. This is what made this happen.
Right. And that's one of the things with the talk show stuff is the legal thing when you buy that and use the Microsoft enabled program inside of a talk show is we're joined by so-and-so on Skype right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to literally say that or you're breaking contract of their, you're breaking the EULA, I guess, of their program, which is, it's their program, so they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. That just sucks for podcasters.
Joining us on Skype right now,
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, that was a very niche question for me. I just felt like answering it, so Max, you're up.
Mm-hmm. It's me again?
It is. That's the order. You're not ready.
Fuck. I'm ready.
Are you?
I got it. Ready. Here it is. Definitely not doing.
Just steal Zeke's. He's got one, Hubbard.
Yeah, go ahead, Zeke. You got one. Do you got one?
Sure. If Twitch went bankrupt, what do you see yourself doing?
I feel like we answer this question a lot when we do these Q&A stuff.
We have answered it, haven't we? Yeah.
I don't know what I said in the past. Probably just some like
It changes.
Yeah, probably just like TV production or something like that. I don't know.
I'd move to LA or New York and really try and be an actor.
Yeah.
Stage, screen, whatever, commercials, don't care. Just really, really like throw myself into like doing auditions and shit like that.
Have you done that before?
I've acted on stage and screen and stuff, but it's really small. Like you barely even call it that. But I mean, local theater productions I've done like over like 100 different like just stage productions of things.
I'd be interested in doing acting and things like that. The only thing I think I don't know how I would take it, and it would be such a grind to do, is just the whole audition process of going into a fucking casting call and sitting shit kind of thing. Why are you squinting your eyes at me?
Because you froze again.
Oh, okay. It's confusing for me because I don't know when I'm freezing.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's happening so much.
Doing the whole like casting thing, like having to sit in a room full of people that are all out for themselves. You're out for yourself, and you have to deal with the whole LA bullshit. I have a really big problem with like that LA culture of that specific thing. Where like no one gives a fuck about you. They're all trying to do their own thing and be the biggest star like ever. You know what I mean?
But isn't that in some ways
I
Twitch
audition
culture?
well though.
Like,
I've always. Oh,
It is, but in Twitch culture, it's a little more controlled for you, right? You can focus on your stuff and do your thing, and who cares about this douchebag person who's trying to, like whatever. Like you still kind of create your own environment and build your own. You have some level of control of it, right?
Sure.
If you're in LA and you're trying to, like, you're forced to be a part of their world. You know what I mean? Like you have to go into that casting call and be a part of these douchey people doing stuff who are picking you apart and all that. And yeah, I don't know.
Makes sense.
But for my actual backup plan, I'd probably try to find a different job in like gaming, whether it be someone who coordinates and gives input on like streaming, things like that, or becomes on-air talent, or some sort of media. I think there's enough people that I know and they know me that I could like potentially finagle some sort of job like that in the industry still, but not be necessarily still do streaming and YouTube and stuff. But it's so weird because like I don't foresee in any immediate future where Twitch or YouTube just they're gone. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a going back to what we talked about before. That's kind of a reassuring thing.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I'd probably do that. I'd find something similar to what I do that like that goes on my specific talents would work for.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. Who asked that question, by the way, Zeke? Do you remember?
That was.
I just want to give him credit.
What happened to it?
Oh, was it?
Did you delete it?
If Twitch went bankrupt, is that what the one?
Yeah, there it is. Cosmic blip.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cosmic blip.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll just strike it from the list. Mac, did you find one? Mac? Wow.
Yeah,
Max.
it's actually the one just underneath it. Zwickle asks, do you think there will be a big announcement at TwitchCon this year, similar to the Twitch Prime announcement last year? What do you think / hope it will be? So do you think there will be something of significance in the way that Twitch Prime shook up, Twitch this year? And what do you hope for, I guess?
I hope there
it's
is
a decent
one.
Enough question.
I mean, I hope there is one. That's my hope.
Yeah.
Will there be one? I don't know. Some of this stuff I don't want to talk too much about because I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing in terms of what I know.
Exactly. I mean, that's true. You might know a little bit more.
But do I think that there could be something as big as Twitch Prime? If they continue the thing of September to be all like year round, where first time subs on any channel is half price, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be neat. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the only way because Amazon Prime.
It's stupid money. Yeah.
That was the fucking most epic thing ever.
Yeah.
It still continues to be an awesome thing. It never fails. Still, like if somebody asks like, "What is Twitch Prime?" and you as the broadcast, well, let me tell you about Twitch Prime and this free sub that you get, and then just tell people. So many people too I've had be like, "Oh man, I gotta. This is my last resub. I gotta cut back on things that I'm sub to and like money and finances and all that." I'm like, well, you know what? If you have an Amazon Prime account or if you have somebody else that's not using it like in your household or something like that, you could totally do that if you wanted to keep it. And they're like, oh fuck, I totally didn't even think of that, and then they just switch it over to that.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what. I think it would have to be like fundamental site something. Like something that's not going to make the biggest difference to the way that people interact with the site, but something that'll make a big difference to how streamers interact with the website. And so what necessarily might be a big announcement for us is not a big announcement for viewers. And I don't know what that is in my head. I just think that might be some stuff that they announce. I wouldn't want to be Twitch though, because whoever they announce or whatever they announce, it's immediately good compared to last year. And like last year's announcement was fucking like the amount of money that Twitch Prime has made over the past year for broadcasters on Twitch is fucking absurd. Yeah. And so I don't know what they could do to top that at all. Zeke, did you have any thoughts or answers or anything?
Twitch has an ISP. How about that?
I mean, that would be kind of cool, yeah, but I have no idea how that would work. If they announce something like, yeah, we're working with ISPs to not fucking screw every single one of you over once or twice a year.
That everybody, every single, like, that is the great equalizer among Twitch broadcasters. The great equalizer is the fucking ISP shitting on you. Like, take the biggest streamer and the lowest streamer, and they've all been fucked by their ISP at one time or another.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen though.
Yeah,
not anytime soon. Maybe eventually. Google Fiber and Twitch are partnering up.
That'd be insane.
That wouldn't happen though.
Yeah, that's Amazon and Google.
Because it's Google and Amazon.
Yeah. Amazon Fiber.
Amazon Fiber. I'm into it.
Just take the Amazon Fire and just put a B in there.
What about do you think they'll drop something like further increase on bit rates and support for 1080p and all that shit to try to compete with other shit out there?
I don't think they need to.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to compete. No one competes. Twitch doesn't need to compete with anyone. People need to compete with Twitch. Is the way I look at that.
How about Netflix integration on Twitch? Boom. Now you can watch all your Netflix shows with your fans. It's baked in. They need to have a Netflix account. Boom.
That'd be kind of cool.
Boom. That'd be fucking dope. I'd love to watch Next Generation with some fucking.
What is
fans.
that?
Dude, if I got off streaming, I was like, I'm done streaming for the day, but I'm going to be on my Netflix and we can chat about
whatever.
Fucking BoJack Horseman or whatever you're watching.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna be watching, so we can live chat while it's going on.
But again,
what is that
Amazon,
website
right?
though?
So.
What's that? Yeah, it's not gonna be Netflix.
There are websites that do that.
What is that website that does the streaming thing? Ellaheim's used it before.
Rift.tv is one of them. There's another one. It's called like Rabbit, something like that.
Yeah, Rabbit's the one that I think Ellaheim's used before.
Rabbit, yeah. That already kind of exists, but God, that would be so fucking cool. If it's not going to happen with Netflix if it does ever happen on Twitch. If it does, I'd be fucking stunned because Amazon Video, right? That's what it would be. It would be Amazon Video if they're going to do anything. Like Amazon would be like, nah, we have a Netflix.
Dude, but how shitty is the fucking interface of Amazon Video?
It's not as good as Netflix, yeah.
No, it's not at all. I'm like, I could watch it on Net or Amazon, but now I'll just rewatch something else on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't want to navigate their stupid UI menu.
Yeah, I agree. TSD Tom, I don't know how to Testadom. I don't know how to say your name. Thoughts on the half sub this month? We mentioned it. I don't think you guys have talked about it. I think it works for some channels. I think for other channels, like myself, it hasn't moved the needle at all. I have not seen much success with it for anything on this channel, but I don't know about you guys.
What number question is that?
107. I deleted it. I'll undelete it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the best example of it working, go look at Shroud. He's at 38,000 subs right now. And he was at like a couple grand at the beginning of this month. So obviously it's a huge success.
Numbers are crazy.
Yeah.
What does he do? What does he play?
PUBG. It's a perfect storm of like an amazing ex-CS pro player, PUBG being fucking massive, and half-price subs. Like it's just a perfect storm of craziness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's insane.
But yeah, again, I think it works.
It's been good for me.
It has.
It's definitely moved the needle for me a little bit.
Yeah. What about you?
It's not
Max?
drastic.
Too, yeah.
It's been working for you, Max.
Yeah, it's been helping.
Yeah. I wish they like broke it out. Like this is how many new subs you had, and I keep saying Subtober, but it's September that were half price or whatever. But I have no idea. I don't think it's been that much of a thing here, but it is working for other channels, obviously. And you see a bunch of broadcasters like diving into it. A lot of people have it in their channel topics or whatever the fuck it's called, titles. Half price subs.
I do that, yeah, just for a bit. I don't try to beat it over everyone's head. I do have it in the title just because it's an easy way for people to know about it that maybe don't know about it if they've been gone for a bit.
Yeah.
There are some people though that just like, did you know half price? Like,
yeah. The funny on speaking of Shroud, I'm curious to see what happens the next month. Like if that's just going to be a 1 month thing, or if it'll drop. I'm always curious to see that stuff. And he's pretty vocal about showing it, so I would suspect that he literally just shows his dashboard on stream. So we'll probably see if that stuff sticks around. But that was an easy. I feel like I'm picking all the easy questions. Here, actually, someone, I don't know if this got submitted, but there was a question that was tweeted at me, which doesn't make any sense to me.
I thought you said you weren't going to read tweets.
This was actually a good question because I'm super curious.
Okay.
Basically, the question was, what do you guys see a big boost on your channels from being on shows like Drop Frames or Roleplay, or does it not help at all? Because my understanding is it used to help a couple years back, but now it doesn't do anything. So I'm curious to see what you guys think of that.
I get a trickle,
Yeah.
honestly. Like I do get some, but it's never like I never got a huge boost from any of the shows that I've done. It's an every once in a while thing. Someone coming in, hey, I saw you on Drop Frames. Hey, I saw you on Blades in Dark. Hey, I saw you on Roleplay One Shot. I thought I'd come and check you out or whatever. But it's never been like a huge percentage difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it helps a little bit, right? A little bit here and there, but I don't think it's like a noticeable enough boost where it's like, oh shit, look at that. That shot up after I did this, show.
Right.
I would say I get it more in person. I think the people that watch these shows and stuff, a lot of times, if they are checking, it's very hard to measure because they're lurking and they're not like really being too vocal about it until maybe at like cons and stuff. You're like, I love your character Berg and, Court of Swords or whatever. Or I loved Xiaobaz on West Marches way back and, that kind of stuff. That's when I get more of the people saying like, oh, yeah, I'm familiar with you because of this and this. I don't think it's necessarily like a huge boost that translates over to our individual channels, though. Because, and it kind of makes sense, too, because when they're watching these shows, they're watching it for this show, right?
Right.
Like, there's a little bit of people, I'm sure, that go across and, cross-pollination to our different channels and stuff, but I don't know if it's a huge boost now.
But I'd imagine it's the numbers are similar. The percentages are not. Like you get a streamer who has like 100 viewers concurrent usually, and then they're on one of your shows and they see a bump of 20.
Right.
They're going to notice that.
Sure.
Whereas if I get a bump of 20, I might not notice that because my fluctuation is
fluctuation. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like probably get the same amount. It's just less noticeable as the size of the channel goes up.
Makes sense.
Like, see, there's somebody in chat too, Evil, saying like the reason why I follow Gassy, Zeke, and all these bunch of people. There are people like that, I'm sure, who never would have found us. So there is a boost, but as far as like how measurable and noticeable it is for us, it's a little harder to find that because of the fluctuation of viewers that we have normally. Yeah.
I think something similar to kind of what this show does in some regards is something you see a lot of the what I call like the 10K plus streams where you'll see like, Tim Tapman play with like Dr. Disrespect and play with Shroud. And then that's where you'll see the big swings. Like a lot of Shroud success, not only because he's a great fucking player, not only because he's an entertaining stream, not only because he was an esports thing, it's because he played with Dr. Disrespect when he was on the way up to where he's at right now. And then those viewers kind of splintered off and that type of stuff I think works really well at the top. But it's hard to do that kind of in the medium, I guess, if you could call it that, the lesser top, if you could call it that, because that's like the 1% of the 1%, right? The 10K plus streams.
No, I mean, someone just wrote me an email the other day. Like, when you started streaming on Twitch, did you have like a built-in audience? And yeah, I did a little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't have like what I have now, but I had a good solid core of like 100 to 200 people that were there right when I started because man versus game.
Right.
hitched my wagon to a star and reaped some benefits for sure.
Right. And there's nothing in my mind wrong with that, especially if all parties involved with like that are totally cool with it. What I don't like is when people have a noticeable, like clear boost in like built-in audience and things like that. And then they try to rewrite history and be like, nah, I built that myself. I'm like, you didn't though. You didn't. Like, totally. You're still cool. You still got people watching you for if you're still maintaining these, the viewership and you're still building your viewer base. When people try to go back and pretend like they always were the shit, that's what irks me and bothers me.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know who asked. I think that was on Twitter somewhere. First off, if you're watching, you should have submitted it and thanks, so I'd give you a shout out. And second off, use the fucking thing. Max, it's your, or whoever. Someone pull a question.
I like this one.
Do it.
From Lucas Aitken, Aitken. Lucas Aitken says, was there a game that changed how you played games completely? Like for me, The Last of Us got me into single player games. Was there a game that completely changed? Like I think we could span that. Like was there like a specific game that you can say like just opened your mind to like, oh, this is what games can do?
World of Warcraft, without a doubt. It changed probably my entire gaming habit in terms of what I like and what I don't like. And then probably Quake as well, because that's probably... Quake and StarCraft were pretty similar in like, hey, I fell in love with RTS games and I will like RTS games for the rest of my life. And hey, I fell in love with FPS games of the arena style. And I'll always like those type of games. But those are probably the big three.
And tabletop, we're talking about video games, Tris, not Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons just made me be able to stream.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't actually like
playing it on role play shows with JP and friends really changed my life.
If we're talking about all games, and Dungeons and Dragons changed my life completely. Like it just like wiped off everything else and was like, it's my life before D&D and my life after D&D, because that was just a completely different experience.
I think for me, Counter-Strike, old CS, got me into Steam and therefore into PC gaming and all that stuff. Used to go to like LAN centers and things like that, or not even LAN center. I mean, they are LAN centers, but they also, you could just rent a computer, play Steam, and fucking play Counter-Strike with people. So I used to do that, and that kind of was like my foray into, oh shit, Steam's fucking cool. I should do this eventually when I have money, and that kind of led me to where I'm at now. But as far as, I don't know, like a game that maybe impacted you and like, oh shit, games do this. Fucking Portal. Portal was a good one too, I think.
Portal was a good one. That was kind of one of the big ones. It was like, oh, games can actually have like a fun narrative and can be kind of like
and also
comedic.
Made me kind of want to break games a little bit more and like go like think a little differently in that regard, like think outside the intended path a little more than maybe I had already been doing. Same could also be said about like a Half-Life and stuff, but I played Half-Life not when they came out because I didn't have a computer that could run all that shit. So
yeah.
Morrowind for me.
Probably for a lot of
Morrowind
people.
changed my idea of what a game can how many options you can have in a game, like how many like things you can do. There was the first game where I was like, oh, you can pick everything you can pick everything up. Everything's a prop in this game. Holy fuck. So like my first like 3 hours playing, I had like silverware and fucking like plates and rocks and shit like all on my inventory because it was like you could just pick up everything.
Yeah, that was Skyrim for me. That was Skyrim for me because I didn't play Morrowind. I didn't never.
Yeah, I think everyone has like games that made me kind of like what Zeke just said. Definitely like Final Fantasy VI, like some of the Super Mario Brothers games when I was little. Those definitely had like a big impression on me for sure. That made me get into games to begin with.
Someone mentioned in chat too, GTA. That's a pretty natural one. GTA 3.
Yeah.
That was like one for everybody. It was like, what the you can what?
Totally.
you can just go around and do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And that's what we did for 4 hours. And then eventually you're like, all right, that's enough murder. That's enough.
Right. I'm sure right now.
You had to take a shower afterwards. You're like, man, I did some awful shit today.
I would probably wager that a lot of people are having the like game that changed how you played games. PUBG is probably one for a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
Not only like people that are just starting out playing video games, but people that have been playing games for a long time because it's such a it didn't exist. Like it created its entire own genre prior to that. I mean, they existed, but they were on so much smaller scale, right? It proved the genre can work on a large, massive scale. So I think people are probably having a lot of change how you play games completely with that, for sure.
Yeah. GoldenEye. That's a great one.
Yeah, totally.
Hours.
You can keep going on and on. The more and more you there's so many fucking games out there too that are.
Well, that's the thing. You never think of it off the top of your head, but when someone puts it in chat, you're like, oh, fuck,
then you just,
why did I say that?
Once the cogs start going.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, JP.
Do it. Thanks, Lucas, for the question. What's the question, Max?
It's from chat. Why are guests hard?
Guests are hard because of what you guys answered earlier. There is very little benefit for streamers that are bigger than the show to coming on. And there is very little gain from me getting, quote, smaller streamers to come on the show. So that's why guests are hard. Also, schedules between different streamers is a nightmare. And also, kind of like what Zeke was saying is, when it comes to a streamer, they are responsible for themselves. And a lot of people have a hard time being responsible when it comes to being on shows. And so they just don't commit to them to begin with. Because time management is something that is a learned skill. And if you don't take the time to learn time management, you'd have zero. You don't understand that someone else's time is worth something else than yours. Something different than yours. So kind of all those things in one probably is the answer to that question. It's just difficult.
Yeah, I just want to expound on that because I think it's something that is important to address. Why don't we get smaller streamers on this show, like as guests?
We have before, and a lot of time I feel like and this might sound something that you can, I guess.
Might sound honest.
Well, it'll sound honest, but I'm never one to bullshit, but it'll paint me in a bad light. I feel like there is when a streamer is, quote, no longer small and kind of makes that leap from small to mid or small to accepted. I don't know what the term is. There's a term there.
I think it's from amateur to professional, meaning this is your living.
Yeah, but a lot of people on Twitter just say, I'm a professional streamer, but I make $100 a month from Twitch. So like that's a weird, there's no name for that. But what I'm getting at is it is a way for them to prove themselves without ever having been on the show before. And it is a gigantic gamble for them to come on the show, for me, without having that proven that they can carry themselves amongst 3 other people that are much larger, and they're not just going to be there after the show or during the show saying like, yeah, check me out, come watch my, like there's a weird thing there that's not really like a check mark on a stream or something that's spoken, but they, in a sense, prove themselves when they make that leap to kind of being a, quote, successful, maybe that's the best way, successful streamer, in my mind.
Yeah.
That's
otherwise, a hard spot to be in.
Yeah. Like we've never had a guest on the show, luckily, that's come on and just started spouting things that I don't want said on said show. Like there's a pretty much agreed upon thing that we're not going to cover like super dramatic bullshit on the show because that's just not what the show is about.
And if you do touch on something that's somewhat dramatic or heavy or whatever, you're going to do it quickly and you're going to move on to the next thing to keep the show moving.
Totally, yeah. So yeah, that. I think that's an answer. It's kind of a non-answer at the same time, but yeah, smaller streamers are small for a reason, if that makes sense, and it's hard for them to like it. I don't know.
No,
it's weird talking about that. Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a shitty reason. It could be like they just started.
Exactly.
That's also true too. Yeah. Yeah. But usually if someone's on the show, it's because of something that's happened recently. They've been playing a game and have a big audience for said game, or they've already kind of proven themselves in the Twitch sphere. Because otherwise, as a producer, I have nothing to gain by having them on, except having a, quote, smaller voice and getting the goodwill of like, hey, good job, you brought little Timmy on. Like,
and your job as a producer and as somebody who's running the show on your channel is to create the best possible outcome for the show.
And also you have to think of it like Jimmy Kimmel or fucking anyway, Seth Meyers is like,
totally.
Hey, we're gonna have this guy you never heard of on the show today.
Yeah.
And no one, everybody's gonna be like, oh, let's see what's on.
It's like when you guys heard Gassy Mexican was gonna be on the show. You're like, I mean,
Nah.
he's okay.
Nah.
He does voices sometimes.
For me, you're Max. You're like the comfort food, right? You're the go-to guy. That's like, Max is gonna do a good job. He's not gonna be the best. But no, I'm fucking with you. You literally saved the show.
Comfort food.
You were the guy that
tastes fucking great.
Can confirm. Have licked.
You were the guy that I asked last minute yesterday because again I had a really tough time trying to find someone this week, and that's only going to get worse as bigger games come out because there's no reason for a streamer that is kind of our size to jump on a show on a Wednesday, the day after big game releases, when there's a big game out that they could get the same audience or more on their own channel to come on here and talk about it. So it only gets worse kind of during the quote season of games coming out, the fall stuff. So
yeah, and I enjoy doing these types of shows. They're fun. This or role play or anything. It's always been a positive for me because it's different content that I cannot do on my show, like on my channel. I can't do it, right? And it requires a lot of effort and stuff that JP does and schedules it. So it's very mutually beneficial for me. That's always been my stance on it. And it's just a lot of fun. So
yeah. Whose turn? I'll look for a question, unless you guys have one. I think you guys just answered both.
That was mine. Oh. It took me a long time to find that.
What do you think? This is from Casper Zom. What do you think is the single biggest reason for your success?
Other people's success. That's my answer.
What?
I have people that are successful on shows, and that feeds into my success.
It's a part of it.
No, but
I think they might be talking about
you do a fine. Here's my contention with that.
Also, how do you spell? Oh, never mind. I found it.
You'll see people who are like primarily one game streamers, and then you'll see like 50% of their audience goes away when they're not playing that one game. Yeah. Whereas when you're streaming by yourself, JP, you keep solid numbers.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of. I mean, I get you are right. You are right. Yeah, but growth is not something that occurs too much. So growth occurs like I'll see a spike in viewership if we have a big guest on or we've got someone who's on like a role play stint that is of larger audience for sure. Sure. But yeah, I think my career is making. There's definitely something to be said that I have latched on to other people's career. They have come on the show and then they've gone off and done their own thing after that.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the way I would boil it down for you. If I was looking outside, since I'm outside looking in, I would say that you are the biggest reason for your success is your ability to network.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'll agree with that.
Absolutely.
Because you can get, you got your dirty little fingers in lots of shit. Like if I want to talk to somebody who might know somebody, it's JP first.
And they're fucking dirty little fingers, let me tell you.
Dirty little fingers.
You don't want to know what these fingers. Licked. Yeah. These fingers have done shit. What about you guys? What's your single? What are your single biggest reasons for your success?
Well, when I agreed to when you said like other people's success, that wasn't meant as shots. So I hope you didn't take it that way. It was that kind of thing that I was talking about before. Other shit that I've done with other people that are successful and talented, right? Like I don't like to ignore the shit that brought me to where I'm at. Like for instance, being a part of the Creatures, totally that set me on a track to where I'm at now. Becoming friends with C-Nanners and playing a lot of games with him and other people that are really talented and funny and things like that. That doesn't necessarily mean that I think I'm shit and that I'm not entertaining, because I don't. Like if you're not a good broadcaster if you don't think you merit some sort of somebody's time or something like that. But I like to be pretty open and honest of like, yeah, that absolutely helped me get to where I'm at. Like, because I feel like that's such an easy stance to take. Unless you really have an ego that's very unchecked and you think you're the shit and it's only always been you. You know what I mean?
I feel like those egos get squashed pretty quickly on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like I feel like ego is something that everyone has an ego that streams, but no one has an ego that streams that other people look at and they don't last, is what I'm getting at. Like
Yeah.
Everyone's got an ego, but the second it becomes like an ego, then they get fucking checked the hell out. And no one actually will. Their viewers will actually start dropping from that as well.
I'd say for me, that the things that I mentioned before that help people get awareness and growth to me, voice, doing voices, being a fucking weirdo who just, you got to be weird to be a streamer, especially if you're just going for straight up entertainment. Like, you got to be able to have something interesting to say and the ability to talk. And I think a lot of that comes from talking while playing games, specifically like for commentary and things. I grew up with a brother who played games with me, and we would talk to each other the entire time when we were, gaming. So that's kind of came naturally to me, more natural than other people's. Obviously, I've honed it over the years, and you get better at talking and filling dead air, and you learn the ins and outs of being a broadcaster and being, whatever. But that's what I would say.
Zeke, you want to take a stab?
I mean, I don't want to. I mean, there's a lot of things. Obviously, Man vs. Game was a big part of that. Roping, like going along with him from 2 viewers to what it is now. Like, right. I was there for like the 2 viewer stream on JTV. Obviously, I could point to that, of course. But what do I think attributes most of my success now and what keeps people around? I want to say it's genuineness. Genuosity. I don't know what the fucking thing. Like, I really try and keep everything like out of the shadows. Like, I don't like make apologies for being a person and that kind of stuff, and also for making mistakes and being an idiot and doing dumb shit or raging and breaking shit for no reason. Well, almost no reason. But yeah, I think that's possibly, and that's where my sense of humor comes from, is not taking anything too totally seriously, and just trying to have the best time and entertain the most people in the best manner possible. I don't know. Genuosity.
Genuosity. I like that word. It's a good word.
Realness, authenticity. Maybe that's it. Authenticity.
That's super important for me too. Like, I think for a lot of streamers, that's very important. And it's so easy to be like, I try to be humble, I try to be authentic. And a lot of people would just hear words of a streamer saying like, of course you do. Of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I would say too.
Right.
It's hard to get that across, like, actually. But
well, and also it's walking a line. Like, I really, really try. For example, when like Prime subs came up and like this half price sub and stuff like that, I'll mention it. I'll say, listen, don't forget to check your Amazon Prime sub. But I always feel like it would be greasy and dirty of me if I didn't say, like, of course I would like it for you to use it on me. I'm not just gonna be like, is magnanimous? I don't know what the word is, but like, use it on your favorite streamer and not say like, me, I want you to use it on me, of course.
Right. No, that's what makes you. That's if you went the other route, then that makes you disingenuous. I'm gonna be like, yeah, fucking. If you want to drop it here, great, do it. You can do it.
Every broadcaster has a way to get around that without sounding shitty.
Yeah,
in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, just some game questions here. Black Silver 5. Are any of you guys gonna jump into Path of Fire, the expansion for Guild Wars 2? Personally, probably not. Guild Wars 2 historically does not do well on Twitch, and I haven't touched Guild Wars 2 since it launched multiple years ago.
I haven't touched or thought about that game. I honestly forgot about that game. I forgot it was a thing.
Yeah. I hope it does well though. It's always cool to see other games blow up, but I don't know if it will. Apparently, they just got mounts, I think, with that expansion. So, what was some other stuff's question or game wise here? Just to spam these out real quick. And now I've lost them. There was like an entire block of just game questions. Oh, well, if you guys have a question, feel free to go.
I realized I highlighted a lot of questions that were very similar.
Yeah. I didn't know who highlighted
it. I don't know who did this this tan highlighting, but yeah.
What game would you say was the most disappointing game so far this year?
Ooh.
The biggest disappointment this year.
I'd have to go back and look at everything I've played.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 not being on PC.
That's pretty big.
That
bummer.
was huge. That's pretty huge.
It's pretty fucking disappointing.
Yeah.
Yet, anyways, I should say yet for anybody that didn't hear our conversation earlier.
Oh, Andromeda. Everybody
Yeah.
shitting on it. I liked it. I played all the way through and I liked it a lot.
I know maybe not the biggest game, but a game that was a disappointment to me was Friday the 13th after all the hype.
Oh, yeah?
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think that game was a steaming pile of dog shit. That was only fun because it was said dog shit with friends.
Yeah, that game is a lot more fun because of the people you play it with. If the people you're playing it with make it fun, it's a lot more fun. But it's not a game I would jump to by myself into matchmaking and be like, yeah, Friday the 13th, let's do it solo style. You know, I don't know.
The full release still felt like a beta. To me.
For Honor is big. For Honor was just a gigantic. That probably is my biggest.
I froze. Oh shit, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Yeah, yeah. For Honor is probably my biggest disappointment of the year. I was pretty excited to play For Honor, and then I played it on a sponsored stream, and I just hated it. I did not enjoy it whatsoever.
I liked it. I wasn't disappointed with For Honor.
Yeah, it's just.
But I mean, it's funny that it fell out like. I am very just fickle about games. Like I'll just jump from one to the next, just real quick without even giving them a whole bunch of time. But it seemed like For Honor was that game for everybody. It was like, hey, let's play this for a week and then never mind.
You know, I get a small sense of satisfaction that everyone had the same issue I did with the game. I just had it in 5 minutes, whereas they had it in 5 weeks. And I just like dipped out super early. Granted, it maybe wasn't the same exact reasons why everyone quit, but I'm just glad I dumped out of the game when I did, because I did not enjoy it whatsoever. I think it's a cool thing, though. I think that people building on like the chivalry style gameplay, there's something there, but no one's nailed it just yet.
Then we can go opposite of that. What was the biggest surprise?
Oh, Path of Exile, without a doubt. That's easy.
Oh, okay.
For me, at least.
I didn't know it'd be so easy for you, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys.
In recent memory, Mario plus Rabbids. That surprised the shit out of me. I was like, it's gonna be like a fucking tame ass XCOM. It's like when you forget that you're, or forget to try to play it like XCOM, and you play like a completely new game, it becomes so much more fun.
That's true. That game might be the inverse for me, Zeke. I was pretty excited for that game, and I think since I played XCOM right before it, it just felt like child's play to me, and I think I personally ruined that Mario Rabbids for me because of the games that I played.
That's the bad way to set yourself up for that game.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, oh, gotta move to cover, gotta stress out over every fucking decision. No, you do not. Just go. And then if you fail, just start over again. You don't lose soldiers. It's great.
Yeah, just do it again.
Yeah. But the other one for me, huge. Like, you could say Horizon. You could say all the, like, these games are supposed to be like big, and they lived up to their hype. Hellblade came out of fucking nowhere and blew me the fuck away. And that was the one, the Viking with the voices and shit. Oh my god, that was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see where that'll end up on Game of the Year list. Max, any for you?
The Land of Pain. Sorry.
Should I play it?
Should I play it? Is this disappointing games?
Or games that you're surprised by? Either or.
I was surprised by Mario and Rabbids. When I saw the trailer and stuff like that, I'm like, that could be interesting. That could be neat, but I didn't know enough about Rabbids. I know nothing about Rabbids. I still only just know that they're crazy, wacky, like.
That's all you gotta know.
Minions before Minions, I think, right? Kind of deal.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, that game surprised the shit out of me. I'm probably gonna go back and play more of it. But Other ones, Andromeda. Here's my thing on Andromeda. Let's just touch it, and because I'm somebody that's like really big into Mass Effect. I got more upset about Andromeda in the experience room for me because of everyone else reacting to it. Because I was excited to, you saw it, like I did like a whole build up to fucking play it and stream through on Twitch, and everyone fucking hated it. And it was like, if I streamed that game, it's going to be nothing but pain for me. And I don't want that for my favorite series. I don't want that to be a thing. Sure. So what I've probably conceded I'm going to do is I'm just going to fucking play it on my own in my off time and get through it. And then if I want to stream it afterwards, maybe when at such a point, if it happens where, you know, people don't make it awful to stream and have a bad chat experience with, because everyone just picks apart that game, or why are you playing this shitty fucking game? It sucks, you know, like, yeah, I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
I get that. That definitely
you
sucks.
ruined Andromeda for me, Twitch. You did. So anyways, next.
You want to know the actual biggest surprise?
What's that?
The actual biggest surprise, because I never heard of it, and something happened, something magical that can't be repeated. My summer car.
Oh yeah, you like that?
The biggest surprise for me all year, hands down, not even a question.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
It had ups and downs and emotions and just exhaustion, and goddamn, that was great. It was an experience.
It was a lot of fun to watch you play that, man. I felt like
you slogged through a desert or something.
It was a lot of fun to watch you play that, for sure. We got time for like one or two more questions. If you guys have any ones that you want to highlight specifically.
You know, when there's so many questions in a list, it's like really hard to pick just one out.
No, I don't have that issue. I just pick one.
Yeah, I'm just done. It's fine.
It is difficult to do it while on a stream while other people are waiting.
Yeah,
for
no.
it, without a doubt. I get
if
that.
I was like, you know, planning ahead, I would have.
Oh, this one's kind of an esoteric question. What is your favorite thing about Twitch as a whole?
The fact that they've made people able to able to make a living by playing video games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like everyone that is on Twitch looks at this thing every single day and they're just like, man, what a fucking weird thing. Like, what a weird world.
Yeah, no, I have that thought all the time.
Yeah.
About just people watching me and just that kind of stuff in general. Yeah. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
I have that time anytime I talk to someone that's not a streamer and they're just like, yeah, you know, I was fucking sitting at the coffee machine at work having a conversation. Then I went to blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, man, I fucking have a job where I play games. What the fuck?
Yeah. Someone asked that. That was a question too. Like in the chat, someone just said, do you still have that thought? Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Totally. I think you can
still have that thought.
Yeah. I think everyone that is on Twitch has that thought daily.
Well, shit'll wake you up to that you don't see coming. Like I'll tell like this. Like I take my dog out back to go potty, and I see my neighbor out back, and he's sitting on his porch, and he looks just like fucking just like beaten down. He looks fucking tired, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I got it pretty good. I'm good, pretty. This Twitch thing is pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to get jobs. Even entry-level jobs, depending too, especially like where you're at. But it's not fucking easy to get jobs.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And the other thing that's just, we've said this a billion times, but
the sex is,
it's just great. It just gets oodles.
All the sex we get is just fucking.
Oh my god, yeah. I have so much sex. That's crazy.
I lost my train of thought now because
Zeke just goes out, takes his dog out to potty, and just like, oh god, fine, your boobs, great. Oh, okay, great.
He's actually like that Reddit poster that's just like, she's kind of attractive. Zeke's just like, meh.
He just turns and it's just tits in his face, just problem. All the time.
That's a Tuesday.
Just like, get out of here.
You're talking about jobs being hard. I feel like getting established on Twitch now is name someone that wasn't already semi-established that's broken through to kind of the big time on Twitch in the past 2 years.
It's really hard.
There's no one. They were already streaming to begin with, and they kind of got a bigger break than the one they had before. Like
what was I'm sorry, I missed. What was the question?
There's not a question. I'm just saying, like, name someone. I guess there is a question, but it's not from the Q&A thing. Name someone on Twitch who's had a big break that wasn't already streaming and had a pretty good job to begin with, because they weren't making as much money as they are now. Obviously, when they're
was Eli retired?
Maybe Eli's the only one. Yeah, maybe he's
the only one that comes to mind for me right now. Yeah, there were some people that came out of the what's it called, the GTRP stuff. I don't know how many. That wasn't a disgust noise that I made of like, ugh, GTRP. No, it was I was trying to rack my brain because I don't know how many other ones that weren't already trying to do Twitch, like you said.
Right. Most people are already trying, are already in the ecosystem of Twitch before they quote made it big. Like it's not something.
I don't know anything about Moon Moon, but
I don't know if
he's streaming before.
I don't know if he streamed before Overwatch. I really don't.
Okay.
Here's the point, though. Chat is all kind of saying the same names.
Yeah, there's only a handful.
A huge list of people that are all saying it. And some of the names that they're mentioning are streamers that were streaming already. Like they've been doing it. Like, you know, they didn't just start recently and then get through. As far as I know. I mean, it's relative though. For like whoever, for us, it's like just started recently means a little bit differently than, you know, because we've been streaming for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
That's another weird thing about this job is like you and me, who's like, I'm not that old, right? Relative to a lot of other people, but I've been doing content creation and Twitch for a long fucking time. Like,
sure.
And in the industry, it makes me old, in a way, you know. But people are always surprised when they find out like that I'm 26. They think I'm like 30 some odd, whatever.
Yeah. I'm still
old
surprised.
As balls. I'm an elder statesman. I'm like retirement home when it comes to YouTube, Twitch, internet shit.
Yeah.
I'm 37.
I would say Zeke's at one end of the spectrum for sure. I'm kind of in between, and Max is like getting up there. But all three of us are probably, quote, old on Twitch, without a doubt.
See, boom, in the chat. What the fuck? You're only 26? Ha ha! Gotcha.
No, every time Max tells me that, I'm just like, well, he's still lying. He's still living that lie.
Like, one day he'll actually tell us how old he is.
Yeah, I've never seen his driver's license. So he could just be lying to us this entire time. So
December 25th, 1990.
I can make updates too. July 31st, 2017. You know, it's easy.
It's true. Yeah. And as a professional streamer, this comes very easy to you, just saying whatever.
Yeah.
It's all lies.
Exactly. All right, we got one more question. We have to universally agree to answering said question. It's the final question. So let's figure it out.
Oh, we haven't. Oh, you didn't pick it out.
No, we have to collectively agree that this is the final question. So we're just gonna sit here and read through some questions.
Just go through them. Tough one.
A lot of these we've already answered before in the past.
Yeah, a lot of these are kind of similar, just reworded.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's an okay one. We've kind of touched on that.
Which one?
Maybe that one. I'm clicking on it. I don't know if you guys can see it. We've kind of talked about it a little bit, but that's a different.
No, we've kind of talked about that.
Yeah, that's a little too much.
That. What about this one at the bottom, 127? What do you guys think of that?
127.
It's kind of a joke, but I think there's something to draw upon there. But it'll never happen, actually. Maybe that's just a waste of a question.
Well, that's just assuming Twitch has a healthcare program?
Yeah.
They do?
No, they don't. That's why it's a
saying in the future, should that...
But the question, just read it. Keep Trucking says, should Twitch offer addiction counseling as part of their healthcare program?
I don't think that's the last question. I think that's a pass.
Well, it opens up a topic of discussion of just like, depending on if you want to go down that rabbit hole of just like health and, people, because it's so competitive and it's so hard to break through on Twitch now and become established. That's fucking dangerous. I think that's something that's not going away. It's not going away at all. We're gonna see more of that.
Twitch. What's the word? Involuntarily promotes to stream as much as possible. They're not out there preaching, "Hey, stream as much as possible," but everything that they do reinforces the fact that, yeah, you should be live 24 hours a day if you can. Like
I like Bikeman's. I know you said you didn't want to field chat questions, but Bikeman's got a good one.
Let's do it. You guys agree? I haven't read it yet.
Question.
I'm going in blind. Yeah. Read it.
So Bikeman says, do you think it's time streamers moved away from the overthinking of subs? Like, appreciation is great, but are we not running shows and not telethons? Yeah.
So he's saying like, should streamers stop thanking subs?
Right now it's ingrained into Twitch, right? If you're a streamer, to thank subs and overly thank, you know what I mean, to be really thankful and make, and it's expectant, very expectant.
Yeah.
And streamers spend a lot of time doing that, and I do too. And it's one of those things I think all streamers grapple with, like the balance of thanking and showing appreciation versus like, hey, this is a show, I'm trying to entertain people, and you know, time management and focus management, I guess, therein.
Well, we don't thank subs, and this is a conscious decision I made long ago. We don't thank subs during roleplay or drop frames. We don't even mention them. I'm not even in the chat saying, hey, thanks for the sub. And so I think that's fine. But I think when you go to like a normal stream on Twitch, just a guy sitting in front of a camera, whatever, playing video games, I would wager that not many streamers would be able to fill the void of time when they aren't thanking subs. Like it's become part of a broadcast because it gives them something to talk about or something to say on said broadcast. Otherwise there'd be a lot of time that it was just dead air in that sense. And also I think that the idea of thanking subs, the idea of thanking people for tipping or cheering or whatever, reinforces the fact that you should tip and cheer. And so I don't think it's ever going to go away, because the people who stop will lose money and the people that continue will make more. And so I don't think that will ever go away on normal streams at all. I think the only thing you might see, and some people have handled it differently, where they'll do like block thank you. Like they won't thank you during the actual game. Notifications will still pop up.
I've done that. Yeah, I've done that. And I still am trying to figure out what I want to do. There will be a change eventually coming for me, because it's getting to that point where it's just like, it breaks my concentration on what I'm trying to do. And it's a hard problem, because like, oh, it's such a problem having all these people subbing to you. That must suck. You know what I mean? Like, no, it doesn't. Like, but it's just time management and focus management. I'm trying to entertain people, you know what I mean? And if eventually somebody new comes into the channel and I'm just sitting there for like 15 minutes or 10 minutes talking and thanking people, that's not entertaining. That's not what I want to watch another streamer do. I'm gonna be like, all right, well, maybe I'll come back. Maybe I'll come back when he's done. You know what I mean? That's the maybe part, the big maybe. So I do think, there's room for me personally. It's something I gotta figure out, and I've already have some plans in place to change like how I thank people. I'll never just outright do away with it. Of course, there'll be something that pops up and some sort of recognition. But yeah, it's a touchy issue that I think it's difficult depending on how you've built up your channel and how you run things on your specific stream.
Yeah. Well, I put myself in, like, when I go to another channel and I have a resub, and then I put a little message in, I hit the button. Even being a streamer, I still have that innate need to be recognized. And I don't hold a grudge, and I don't make a deal of it. Like if I resub in a channel and I think I say something clever, and it just goes on by and that never gets recognized, I don't like make it like a point to be like, you never recognized my re-up. Right. But there's that little twinge of disappointment, like they didn't see it though.
Oh, it definitely sucks. Yeah, I also
like that kind of thing, and that's why I completely understand that though, because believe it or not, sometimes re-ups are fucking annoying, and you don't want to deal with them.
Yeah.
Like when I'm saying something like re-up, re-up, I mean, fucking okay. I fucking recognize you now.
It's like a gnat flying in your ear. Yeah. My favorite is when it happens.
A gnat with money in its mouth.
Sure. Yeah. My favorite is when I've never been like in a more like path diverges sense of like there's like an amazing cutscene happening, right? And I forgot to fucking click the button to turn off subs and announcements on streams. and someone says like, "Oh, but I love you, Billy," and you're just like, "Oh, this is fucking crazy game moment," and then someone, boo, whoop, and it pops up on screen. It's like, fuck, god damn it, you ruined everything.
And even yours, it's a little tiny one.
Yeah.
Mine does a whole like, with the fucking like goes on for a little bit. For me, okay, this is the biggest thing that I hate right now with my current thing. I like it, but right now I'm gonna be so happy when I change it. Right now, when someone's, I don't know why, arbitrarily I decided 20 months is a long time, right? 20 months flat, nice even round number. I give people a whistle with an echo, right? But right now, in order to do that, I have to alt tab out of whatever game I'm in, grab my whistle and go like that. Fucking horrible decision, Max. Like, people like the whistle, they love it, but it's like every fucking time it happens. Every time I see a sub that's 20 plus months, I'm happy that they're here, and I'm like, that's fucking awesome, and I need to give them that whistle. But good God, does it fucking suck to have to alt tab every single time.
I'll solve your issue, Max, and make it more showmanship.
Yeah.
Hook up some sort of lever thing that hangs above your stream, right? That you can just like drape over here when you start streaming. And then when someone subs, you just pull the fucking chain like you're the conductor, and it makes the whistle. And then you're just like, "Hey, thanks for subbing." And then you go back to gaming.
Yeah.
That's it.
What I'm gonna do, honestly, it's gonna be, I'm redoing my alerts anyways to have like an animated like this guy, sombrero guy, do stuff. So he's gonna take on the responsibility. So when it happens, it'll just have him scurry out and blow the whistle and do that. So that's gonna be my solution for it right now. But right now, it's fucking ass, and I hate it. I love you guys for subbing, but goddamn, you just don't understand. It's so annoying to alt tab, especially when the game isn't like built properly for alt tabbing, and it fucks up everything. Like OBS and everything flickers for a little bit, and it's just a nightmare.
I will also say I think, and maybe I'm completely off base. You guys can tell me, both chat and you. I think there's something to be said that while a lot of people in this chat don't like resubs and all that shit, 5,000 is a fucking drop of water in the entire viewer base of Twitch. The entire viewer base of Twitch doesn't fucking care if a sub's being thanked or not. And most of the time they actually want subs to be thanked. So I don't think it's going to change ever on Twitch, just because it reinforces, like I said, more people sub because they want to have their name said. And bigger broadcasters will read a name and that's it. Even if the fanfare is literally just like, "Hey, thanks for the so-and-so sub." Anyways, let's go back to playing games. I think I've seen a lot of broadcasters just, it's a very quick and easy, "Hey, thanks. Let's go back to the game." The fanfare is so small. And I think that's probably what you'll start to see. Not only because it's better for the stream, but because the broadcaster doesn't want to have giant fanfare around it. But yeah. Bike, thank you for the question.
I like if I could do away with morally, guilt-wise, do away with thanking re-ups that aren't 3, 6, 12, 24, 36. That's it. That's the only re-ups I really want to like acknowledge. If I could do away with acknowledging everything in between there and just do new subs, because I still like my new sub bullshit, gimmick, the fire and the voice and all this kind of shit. That's a new sub though. That's a celebration for me. Someone subbing for the first time. I like that. Yeah. But like the re-ups, I'd rather have it just like certain anniversaries, and I think I could probably do that if I wasn't lazy.
Yeah, a lot
probably do that in Streamlabs, right?
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to laziness. I think streaming in general is just laziness. The entire job is how lazy do you want to be today?
With all this stuff that we're talking about right now, I know there's people out there. There's enough people watching right now where there's like, just talked about how good you had it. Now you're bitching about the stupid sub thing. Wow, people want to support you that much. Suck.
Whatever.
Right.
Those people just don't get it. They'll figure it out eventually.
You just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is.
It's so hard.
Yeah. It's stuff too that I'm looking forward to talking about at TwitchCon. That's why I wanted to do that panel. It's just veteran casters talking about whatever and no bullshit.
Yeah.
What is your panel and where can we find it?
Panels just came out, didn't they?
Did they officially release?
I saw a couple people tweeting panels.
I think so.
I know they had them on. I don't know if they officially released all of them, but.
What's the name of your panel? I'll see if it's announced.
It is Here's the Thing. ... Candid talk from veteran casters. And
it is live.
Nice. Myself, Strippin, Dodger, and Gold Glove. So mainly all people that you know of, especially too if you watch the role play family, as it were. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be us talking about everything from stress to whatever, being consistent to. It's going to be first part probably. I don't want to say the first half, but the first portion probably introduce ourselves, talk about a certain couple things that I think everyone could probably weigh in on, and then we'll do Q&A from people. It is a mature panel, so if you don't like hearing the curse words, don't come.
You're also on the panel quality versus quantity. Are you the moderator there? Oh, no.
No. Yeah, I'm on it with Noob, Tiger Rider, and I can't read his something.
Koji?
Yeah, Koji.
Koji?
Yeah.
Let's kick on Koji.
With them, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm really excited. Most excited about the Here's the Thing one. I thought that would be. I was trying to think of what kind of panel I could submit, and I thought that would be one that would be beneficial. I haven't really seen exactly like that. People have talked about every sort of kind of thing, of course, on different panels and things like that, but I thought that one would be a nice one.
Is that the one that I said I'd be on and then told you I'm not going to TwitchCon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I would have loved to have you on it.
I just didn't know which panel it was that I backed out on. Yeah. I
think we got a good group of people on there that all have different experiences and stuff in Twitch and have been casting for a long time. So.
Whoa, wait. PUBG has a invitational at TwitchCon?
I don't know. Did they announce this?
Round 1, the Chicken Dinner Invitational. They're playing PUBG.
It's taking Twitch by. Is this people playing it or is this people talking about it?
We have the best PUBG players to take part in our invitational charity competition. Charity, not cherry. The rules might be a little unconventional for our competitors, but we promise the winner will walk away with that coveted chicken dinner.
News to me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Is H1Z1 still a thing?
Yeah, it's still a thing.
Oh, there's H1Z1 Legends.
Yeah, Legends is like the pro people, and then...
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and then the other All-Stars are people like me who sometimes are okay with the game.
That's smart of them to do, to split that up.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
I'll have to...
I am doing the evolution to partner, from casual streamer to partner.
Can I search your name? Or no? Fuck. Evolution. Let's see if you're there. There it is. I found you. Oh, yep. I like your photo, Zeke.
I've been using that. I've been using that since Intel's next top live streamer. I like that.
Zeke, are they doing a roast this year?
Yes, they are.
Oh, there's 2.
Of who?
Doesn't say. Speakerless coming soon.
TBD.
Can't wait to watch that garbage fire.
It could be good. There's could be good roasts.
Look, last year was the polar opposites when you compare.
It was not very good.
They're polar opposites. I thought
the wheat roast was good, right?
Wheat's.
I'm just saying that because I was on
better.
That one.
Yeah,
but it was very long, very long.
Well, they didn't. They told us like, "Hey,
to talk as much as you want." Yeah, I know.
No, there's someone. Yeah, who's coming after you is not canceled. So go on.
Yeah.
It's like, which is the stupidest thing to tell comedians? Like, brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you want to go look at more TwitchCon stuff, you can. It's live for everyone to go see, and you can plan your day accordingly. I would assume all this is streamed. Maybe. I don't know. I hope it is.
It will be.
Because I'm not going. Let's do some shout-outs.
Which is a question that I fucking avoided because I didn't want to get mad at you.
Oh.
Yeah. You're not going.
Yeah. I'm not going.
Hey, if fans want to meet JP, you can all go fuck yourself. Bye.
No, you can go to PAX Unplugged at the end of the year. I'll be there if you want to come to Philadelphia.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, my one trip a year. And actually, if you want to come and hang out with some other people as well and me at a bar and fucking go bowling and get free drinks, you can do that as well on Patreon. So there you go. That's my shill. That's where I'll be. Max, do some shout outs. Get us out of here. Oh my God, you're so tiny. What the fuck?
Look how tiny I am.
He's so cute.
Just keep me in the corner. Oh, there you go. I'm Gassy Mexican on Twitch and YouTube and all sorts of stuff. General fucking nerd. I'm probably going to cast after this. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to cast, so follow me on Twitter and find out. Yeah. Also, fuck, where is it? I was going to shill something. I was playing it with the whole goddamn show. Now I don't have it. I'm going to have Twitch pins, whatever. Same people that made your pin. There it is. It's big. If you guys are interested in that, I'm just going to be giving them out. They're not going to be sold. So if you're at TwitchCon, you want one, find me. I'll give you one. They're nice.
Nice. I don't know why Twitch hasn't stole that from Penny Arcade yet, or why Penny Arcade hasn't contacted streamers yet. Makes sense.
Unprofessional shilling. I'm not making any money off of this.
Actually, yes. No, he's not. Zeke, do some shout-outs.
What up, Ezekiel the Third here? Did I miss my cue? Did you put me on camera when I was doing stuff?
No, you're good.
Okay. Thank you to Gassy Mexican for being here. It's always good to have you here. Thank you to JP for putting the show on. Variety broadcaster, noon Pacific, usually every day. I will be playing. I might just jump into the Dishonored DLC tomorrow. I might do that. That might be at noon Pacific. I might do the DLC or expansion, whatever you want to call it, because I'm hyped for it. And I might just play it real slow, like I play everything. And I might just do all no killing and all silent and just take for fucking ever.
Crazy.
Crazy. But let's see. Oh, on Monday. Wait, no, is it Monday? Yes, on Monday. I will be hopefully getting an early copy of Ruiner by Devolver Digital that I'll be playing a bit early because the guys at Devolver, I sucked all of their dicks and licked all of their badges.
Nice.
So Ruiner on Monday, but that's it. Thank you.
Cool. We'll be back next week, probably, hopefully, with the guest. No small streamers, though. We already had that conversation. And once again, shout out to Ko and his tribe, as it were. Yeah, hope everything's working out. Obviously, that's a weird thing to say about what I said, but it's fine. We're out. We'll be back next week. Me and Strip are going to be playing Warhammer, or Total War Warhammer 2 early rather. I'm just done with words. We'll see you next week. I'm done. I'm just gonna.
All right.
Thanks for having me on the show, guys. It was fun.
Thanks,
I just can't talk. Bye.
Do your wave, Max. Do the one.
I can't end the show and wave at the same time.